We're going back to the home site again. We're going to, my sniper coil came in, and this time I got one that works. So I'm going to be using it around the site and see what we can come up with. And there's also some trash piles. I've noticed a little bit of trash. So I got me a probing wire, and we're going to stick around and see if we can come up with some old bottles. So anyway, we'll see you in a few. Y'all have a blessed day. It's sunny. We'll be back with you in a short. Okay, here we are doing the other video. You just got through watching the camera and the whale, and I've got my sniper coil. Got one that works. Had one before, but put it on, it didn't work. Wouldn't even pick up a quarter on the floor. So anyway, this one we done tried it and had the manufacturer to test it. So we're going to work this area. I'm going to work around that cellar hole. Don't really expect to find anything. I think I got some trash pits somewhere in this area. Found a little bit of burnt charcoal soil. I think I've got one right over there. And on the other side of that shed, that smokehouse, that's where I found the hammer hatchet head. So we might scan around that a little bit. But we're going to find out. We're going to see what we can come up with today. Let's get doing it. Okay, we had a solid 30, very shallow. When I was doing my sniper coil, it did the length. So I figure there's something, one piece in there, and sure enough it was. I then picked it up and wiped it down some. Looks like some kind of linkage. I wouldn't say anything that has to do, with a plow, because they didn't have that many fragile pieces to it. And let's get moving on. Starting to like relics. Let's see what else we can find. Got a mixed signals. Had a 80, and then some lower signals that were strong. Tried to dig it. We went 8 inches deep. Apparently it's just a nail pit, and that's about all I found. Did find one unusual square nail. Me, if I was going to use this, I'd probably use it for a roof. Where you got those shaker shingles. That's probably what I would use. Something that heavy and that big of a head. I've never seen one with a head like that. Alright, let's find another spot. I'm still right here beside the well. I haven't left. So we gotta try to move on. 72, 73, very shallow. A lot of stuff here is very shallow. Raise his headphones up off my head some. Man, things going nuts. Found me a little, looks like a little mini butter knife. maybe for elves. What do you think? My phone is so dusty. My display, I can't really tell if y'all really seeing that real good. But I tell you one thing, I looked at it. At least it wasn't made in China. It's made in good old USA. Look at, yeah, right there above my thumb. It's made in USA. That's interesting. Okay, we're gonna keep looking. Having a beautiful day. God, my wife would really love it here. I think we're gonna try to come here Thursday. Okay, in the low 70s. Sometimes it did spike up to 80, but it stayed around 75, 76. Got us a belt buckle. Get out of the sun. That's copper, I do believe. No. Brass. I believe that's brass. But that there, I would say, is a belt buckle probably for a person. Doesn't look like it would be horse tack. It looks more like an individual's belt buckle. And that's old. A lot of times modern belt buckles have that little notch depressed in there, or in here. Let's see where the stem comes down. And that's solid. There's no depression in there. A lot of times that's what I've seen of a lot of modern belt buckles. That's brass. That's cool. I tell you, man, just about everything here is surface finds. I'm hearing the woodpecker somewhere. Sound like he's doing Morse code. Thought I was having flashbacks from my Navy days. Oh, mercy me. Let's get on digging. I was correct. Okay. That's part of a fireplace, and those concrete slabs, as smooth as they are, that was built around it. So that was a pretty good fireplace right there. The house faces the south. The buttercups or daffodils are usually in front of the house. And the cellar is here. The house came out so far, and then it went beside, because that would block the north wind off of the root cellar, so nothing would freeze. So that means the house moved back this way and then came over. It had a killer signal, but I didn't think it was a coin. And it was a piece of metal. And you know what that is. That's to put around a chimney. A vent pipe for a stove. Probably an old wood-cut stove or something, old pot belly. So there was the main fireplace in one room. And here, where all these jars at, I take it was probably a back room or back of the house. Could have even been part of the kitchen to stay warm. Maybe that was part of a wood-cooked stove. The wall vent shield. So for a wood-cooked stove was probably right around here. And underneath the house, you can recognize these stones. and they're pretty good size. Look at the arrangement. That was toppled. Those are foundation stones. So it validates that this in here was all part of a room. And there's more block. And I look at it, probably came down and probably went out that way a little bit. It kind of built around the cellar. That's what I'm really thinking. There's a lot of jars here. But that's part of foundation stone. So right there, that disproves the assumption that the house was over there, because there's no stones. All of the big stones are over here. And that's a foundation. Cool. Learning. Homestead 101. Alright. Okay, in the low 30s. 30, 32. Found an interesting piece. Apparently it screws in the way the bites are on the threads. I don't know if that could have screwed into the wood and that acted as part of a hinge maybe for a door. I have no idea. But here it's getting spring. And when you dig your holes, you need to be careful. And there are critters. Right there, that's a baby. I believe it's a baby copperhead. And sad thing, he's in there, a baby. And I think I hit his tail. I think that's a copperhead, I don't know. I'm not gonna get too close. Snake is a snake. But be careful with your hose, with your plugs. Be careful sticking your hand in there. We're gonna cover him up. And hopefully his tail will heal. But always wear gloves when you stick your hands in the plugs. I tell you, it's getting late. I'm a little bit cold. I think we're fixing to do a wrap up. Okay, quick little wrap up. Not that much today. But you know, I only had the little sniper coil. That's not a good coil to graze across open ground, only in tight areas. The next time I come, I'll bring my other coil, but I'll have this one if I do start finding stuff in junky areas. This is a few stuff, not a few, I guess, what I found, except for that linkage like doohickey that I showed earlier, but it's beside the well, and I just don't feel like walking to get it. But it just a couple of minutes ago, pulled that out of the ground. I almost thought that was like part of an A-arm at first, but then I seen the threads. And with the point there, it looks like that's meant to screw in wood. So I don't know. Little piece of pottery. I was trying to find other pieces and maybe try to put it together. Big chunk of metal, big thick. I'd say it probably, it looks like it broke. It could have been part of a plow point. Don't know for sure. There's the cool little butter knife. It's made out of aluminum. Pretty cool though. I wish there was a date on it. The brass buckle. Interesting. Few holes that I dug, and I was finding these round rocks, and they were kind of interesting, especially this one. If you notice, it's got a smooth side on both sides. Just about like it might have been perfectly round at one time. I don't know what that was. It's interesting. There was a purpose for that. Looks like the same thing there. Smooth. Except this was a round one. I don't know if it might have been something where somebody, you know, smoothed everything else. Looks like that one is round. Looks like someone was starting to make that flat. I don't know. Just something about these rocks is very unusual. And I was looking at the way that one was broke. But look at the stem. I almost thought it was petrified deer horn. But I don't know. It's just to get it. And sometimes I overlook stuff like this, but I'm trying to keep an eye on it. Square nails. And then there's that one big one. That's really unusual. Never seen a square nail with a head that big. I still put money that was a roofing nail. And trash. Looks like somebody's chew box. It's aluminum. Cool design. And pull tab. I'm getting better at my junk, so I'm not coming up with as much junk anymore. But that's about it. And it's been an interesting day. I hope soon to bring the wife. Just heard something very big out there, like was hitting a tree. So I don't know. It could be a big old buck. It's about time for us to go anyway, before Bigfoot comes out. All right, we're out of here.